Mr. Elliott, thank you very much for your testimony and for appearing today. I know that you have a difficult task catching up with the history of non-compliance by your agency. I was here for the hearings in 2010 following the San Bruno, and these photos were displayed at that time. That's a picture of the actual explosion. That's the 100-foot by 28-foot crater that was created. And those are the homes, and I suppose you might find the, well, we'll just say those are the homes that were burned. It's been 8 years, just short of 8 years, since that explosion. The mandate in the 2010 law has not yet been completed. We remain extremely concerned about this. The automatic shutoff, the detection systems are known. They've existed for years. Pipeline companies across the nation do employ automatic shutoffs and remote shutoff valves, but yet there's no regulation that requires that they be in place for the 30 or the 3-foot diameter pipe that Mr. Sirius was talking about a moment ago, or for other pipelines across the nation that are in high hazard or high exposure zones. Could you tell me what the status is of the specific regulations on shutoff valves, remote and automatic, and on the pressure requirement systems?
Congressman, yes, and thank you for your question. And you know, the San Bruno incident also was the same year that we had a serious incident in Michigan in the Kalamazoo River.
Serious in that 8 people died.
Yes, and 51 injured, I believe, too, in there. So, as I had mentioned earlier, the status of the rupture detection valve rule is a bit behind the liquid and gas rules. It's in the notice of proposed.
Could you define bit behind?
Well, it's in the notice of proposed rulemaking stage, so I cannot say specifically time-wise how far behind.
Is there any reason you do not have a timeline for the rulemaking process?
I just do not have enough understanding of where we're at in the notice of proposed rulemaking drafting, and once we can complete that, then I can provide a better timeline.
You've been there 7 months, and we understand that's a short period of time. If you do not have a calendar for the 2018-19 year, I'll be happy to deliver one to your office. We have congressional calendars that we hand out to our constituents. I'll be happy to deliver you one. Could you put on that calendar a specific date in which you will address this issue?
I understand your concern, Congressman, and we will
I'll have a calendar in your office. Perhaps you can return it to me with a circle around the dates in which you will begin the process. Is that possible?
Congressman, you have my word that we will move that rulemaking through as quickly as we can.
No, I want a calendar date.
I can't do that, sir. I
Why?
can't move it because I just don't know what calendar date it would be.
Why don't you know when you can get this thing underway?
Congressman, I appreciate your concern. We will work as quickly as we can to move that rulemaking through.
I'm going to be on you like a bad spell. And I can assure you that the California delegation will be there also. It was September 9th, 2010. 8 people died. 38 homes were destroyed. And you don't have a calendar. That's not acceptable, sir. It is simply not acceptable. A final rule, not on this particular issue, but on liquid, hazardous liquid pipelines, was completed, was to go into the Federal Registry on January 13th, 2017. And this administration pulled that back the very first day it came into office. What is the status of that particular regulation?
Congressman, that rule is in the final rule stage, and we hope to move that forward as quickly as possible, too.
Do you have a date?
No, sir, I do not.
You don't have a calendar either?
I do not have a date.
Perhaps you can have 2 circles, a red and a black circle around a specific date and when you'll get the job done. You've shined this on. You and your predecessors have shined this committee on for 8 years. And it's over, sir. Give us a calendar date on when you're going to begin the process, to move the process along, and when it will be completed. I'm out of time. I yield back. And a calendar will be in your office later today.
Thank you, Congressman.
Mr. Perry is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Elliott, for your presence over here, way on the right here, so to speak. In your experience, are all 50 states, just so to speak, are all 50 states equal in quality in their regulation of interstate pipeline facilities?